7-year-old Ashley was about to embark on a special day at school. She got to pick out her clothes for the first time, a big deal to a 7-year-old. As her mother dropped her off at school, she walked through those doors expecting a great day. Instead, she got the complete opposite. On December 14, 2012, former student Adam Lanza bursted through those same doors, but with a different purpose in mind. He was on a mission to conduct one of the largest school shootings in America. As he made his entrance, he was immediately confronted by the school principal. As she desperately tried to warn the students, Adam shot her, leaving the intercom on for all the students to hear the sound of flying bullets. Adam went on to murder 26 individuals that day, with 20 of them being children ranging from 6 to 7 years old, before taking his own life. This was reported in an interview by Ashley herself conducted in February 2021 after she spoke out against the trauma she still suffers today. According to targeted news service, states such as Texas, Florida, and Colorado make it almost a breeze to obtain a gun. With easy access to guns and non-extensive background checks, these are not surprisingly a few states with the highest number of school shootings. Today, I'll be going over the tragedies that have left so many scarred, the problems and causes of school shootings, and what can be done to finally put an end to this. According to a CNN article posted in 2019, there have been at least 180 school shootings in the past 10 years alone, with an outstanding number of 356 victims. Since 1970, there have been 1,705 school shootings in the United States alone. The reports also show that the numbers are rapidly increasing, with 18% of all school shootings happening after 2013. Valentine's Day 2018, another school was struck. Student Nicholas Cruz opened fire on Stoneman Douglas High School for 6 continuous minutes before his rifle jammed. Sydney Australian Broadcasting states, "We are only 45 days into 2018, yet today marks the 18th shooting in the United States." He took 17 lives that day and injured another 17 before fleeing the scene. The deaths sadly do not stop there, though. Nicholas Cruz did extensive damage. Avicii Sever from the Daily Beast in March 2018 wrote an article stating that 3 months after the tragedy, Sydney Aluo committed suicide. She was absolutely terrified of being in a classroom and was being treated for survivor's guilt and PTSD. Less than a week later, a 16-year-old boy also committed suicide after struggling with crippling anxiety and PTSD. After going through a horrible experience like this and witnessing your fellow peers be killed one after another, it is no shock to anyone what the survivors go through. It is reported by Valerie Strauss in the Washington Post in 2018. She claims that mass media coverage can raise children's anxiety levels and can have the same triggering effects as if they experienced a school shooting. Valerie also reports that troubled youth may internalize the information and be at risk to act on the impulse to harm others. The growing number of incidents and mass exposure in the media can scare a child so badly they may result in bedwetting, intense nightmares, refusal to go to school, the list goes on and on. After discussing the problems that occur in school shootings, we will dig deeper to find the causes. Most school shooters are actually students struggling themselves or former students. James Voss conducted a study in 2017 showing some common characteristics among the shooters. 94% of them were current students, with 4% of them being former students. James also found that when he questioned the surviving perpetrators, 71% of them admitted to feeling bullied, threatened, or purposely injured by others. To add on, James also noticed that most perpetrators had a history of suicidal thoughts or attempts. With this being said, it is safe to say that most school shootings occur because of disgruntled feelings towards fellow students. Some kids may just feel alone and disconnected from their peers. Others may go through extreme forms of bullying, leaving the attacker to form feelings of hate or revenge. University Wire states that in the 2013 Nevada shooting, A 12-year-old pointed a gun at a group of students and said, "You guys ruined my life, now I'm going to ruin yours," before shooting 2 students, murdering a teacher, and then taking his own life. In the same article, classmate Margie Stewart said, "I saw people push him in the hallways. He was heavily bullied by the other boys." An additional cause to school shootings correlates with their home life. Alfred University conducted a study in 2018 with past school shooters. When asked what compelled them to do such an act, the main answer, besides bullying, was abuse at home or having no value in their life. Going back to James' study, his stats showed that 63% of attackers had a significant loss, change, or failure in their life that caused them to snap. Along with being abused at home, they felt trapped at school when the abuse would continue through forms of bullying. Perpetrators claim they want to feel in control for once, such as deciding who lives and who will perish at their will. Now that we know the problems and causes of these events, it is time to go over solutions. Solutions begin with the federal government. It is absurd to see that the least restricted gun law states have not only the highest number of school shootings, but all mass shootings. The government is failing to notice these obvious correlations. The first step is for the government to start regulating these laws with more strict rules. Background checks are not enough. There needs to be fingerprinting conducted with every single purchase. Amy Wider from the Every Town in 2019 suggests most active shooters are school age, and data shows that 18 to 20-year-olds commit gun homicides at a rate 4 times higher than adults. Yet what does the federal government do? Still allow states to regulate their own laws. This is the first major mistake. Although some may think that the states may not be able to play a big role in school shootings, they have more power than you think. Joy Reid from the Daily Beast in 2019 states that Nicholas Cruz bought a rifle right after his 18th birthday, only 1 week before the shooting. If Florida had more strict gun laws, they could have saved 17 lives that day. If they looked extensively into his background, they would have saw he had a history of disturbed behaviors, violence, and disciplinary actions on his records. States should also provide multiple counselors and psychologists at every single school, requiring those with troubling history or behavioral problems to go at least once a week to therapy at school. This would allow students to feel like their problems are being listened to and that there are help and resources. Now, what can we do as individuals to stop school shootings? The main thing is to be aware of the warning signs. Dewey Cornell from School Psychology reports that in 4 out of 5 school shootings, at least one person had knowledge of the plan but failed to take it seriously. It is important to take all signs or threats seriously. We can prevent school shootings by simply being kind to others, perhaps asking that one weird kid if you could sit with him at lunch. Checking up on those around you when you know they are going through hard times lets them know that they are not alone. Almost every school has an anonymous tip-off line you can call and report suspicious acts or someone who may need counseling. Now that we are fully aware, it is time to start demanding actions. While it is true that shootings have gone down due to COVID-19, it is vastly important to realize that the numbers could strike astronomically when schools fully reopen. The topic of school shootings is a rough, heart-wrenching subject. Some may find it hard to accept that someone would retaliate in such a way due to bullying and the mental state of mind. It is important to note that every single shooting could have been prevented if somebody took the time out of their day to ask their peers, "Are you okay? Is there anything I can do for you?" Demands for change starts with those closest around us.